welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana, and today you are joining me for my second YouTube video. If you missed my first video, I toured my spooky horror movie themed island of Fog Hollow. The island is stocked with lots of references to horror movies and classic characters, so if you're a fan of horror or just want to see some creative spooky builds, please go ahead and check out that video. Today we are back on Fog Hollow for a very special speed build. I have made several perspective builds on this island, but there is one in particular that I've had the most questions about. So in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how I created this, Dracula's castle. I know this build is particularly themed as a spooky castle, but you can use these same steps you're going to learn in this video to create any sort of castle for your own island. So let's get started. I call this type of build a shadow build, and it is most effective with a night sky, so you can only see a silhouette of the items being used and not all the little details that could ruin the illusion. Whenever I'm doing perspective builds, I always make sure to carry 2 Mario pipes with me. I place one near the area I'm building, and the other is at the viewpoint, so I can easily hop back and forth, make adjustments to my build, and just kind of see how everything is turning out. The items I'm using for this build are 4 plaza clocks, which you can get for 3,000 Nook miles each at the Nook stop, 2 castle walls, which run 56,000 bells each, 1 castle tower, which is 250,000 bells, 4 street lamps, which you can get for 1,000 Nook miles each at the Nook stop, 1 rune pillar, which you create by crafting, and 1 powder room booth, which is 3,800 bells. Now I know some of these items might be a little expensive or hard to obtain, so the great thing about this build is you can always interchange them, get creative. You don't necessarily need to use the castle wall, maybe try the climbing wall, or a different sort of light source. And the rune pillar is not necessarily needed, it basically just fills a gap in the build, but if you wanted a pillar, you could try the decorative pillar instead, or just something else that has good height to it. So I just put a little bit of a cliff here, and I'm going to add one of the street lamps and one of the plaza clocks, and this is going to be the peak of my castle, just to kind of give my castle a little bit of height and make it seem larger than it actually is. Using the street lamp in front of the plaza clock is going to give the illusion of a castle tower with a lighted window, but you don't necessarily need to use a street lamp. I did try testing it with a candle, and that also worked well. I'm sure other light sources could also work. Just kind of play around. I'm just going to place down the castle tower and then hop into the Mario pipe to see how the viewpoint is looking so far. So as you can see, the castle is starting to take some shape. Let's hop back and place down more items to give the illusion of more towers and lighted windows. The purpose of this castle wall and the rune pillar is really just to fill in gaps in your build. When you view the silhouette at your viewpoint, you don't want to see the night sky coming through between your items, so placing these here will just help sell the illusion that this is one solid building and not just a bunch of items pushed up together. I will mention that the sky can also affect your build in other ways. If the moon is too bright, the details of your castle might be too easily seen, or if the night is too cloudy maybe, your lights might look too hazy. So I do time travel and personally always build at the exact date and time that I want to eventually set my dream address to, and that's just so I can see exactly how my builds will look to a visitor. So after placing down a few more street lamps and plaza clocks, and then also this castle wall, I'm ready to see if I need to make any adjustments to the structure of my build before I put in all the decorative touches. Yes, so I do see some sky coming through on the left-hand side there, and those 2 towers look very even in height, so I'm going to go back and make some adjustments and push one of those towers back a little bit. So that looks a lot better. Now I'm just going to head back and add on the finishing touches. The item that I think really sells the illusion that this is a castle off in the distance is this powder room booth. By placing this here, it kind of gives the illusion that this is a lighted entryway into the castle. Now I'm going to add some filler items to the surrounding space. Since this is Dracula's castle, I'm going to place some rune pillars with some customized tabletop pop displays on top, made to look like flying bats. But if you want to add maybe nova lights or star fragments or something else to fit the aesthetic of your island, that's perfectly fine. You can also add in some foliage, termite mounds. I'm adding in this dormant volcano, just whatever you want to put around your castle to make the build look more full and complete. And here's the completed castle. I do hope this video was helpful and maybe inspired you to try this build on your island. Please let me know in the comments if this is something you think you might add to your island, or you can always follow me on Instagram at Dana's Crossing. I would love to know what you guys are up to. I hope you'll join me for my next video. I'll be restarting my island and announcing my new exciting theme. Thank you so very much for watching and for all of your amazing support. It really means so much to me. I hope you have an amazing day.